Peace and blessings. This is Kevin Huckabee with What the Huck Presents, back with another episode of the Storycast Group Therapy. Now, trigger warning, trigger warning, trigger warning. This Storycast is about mental health and people dealing with their personality differences. Shout out to Mom for that one, because it's only a disorder if you allow it to disorder your life. This episode is specifically about AvPD, Avoidant Personality Difference. The DSM, the manual that is used in the therapeutic industry, defines AvPD as a pervasive, enduring pattern of social inhibition, feelings of inadequacy, and extreme hypersensitivity to negative evaluation. It begins by early adulthood and can significantly impact daily life, okay? In order to get a diagnosis for AvPD, you need at least 4 of the following 7 traits, okay? Number 1, work avoidance, avoiding occupational activities. Number 2, reluctance to engage, unwillingness to get involved with people unless certain of being liked. Number 3, restraint and intimacy, showing restraint with intimate relationships. Number 4, preoccupation with rejection, constantly worrying about being criticized or rejected. Number 5, social inhibition, being inhibited in new interpersonal situations. Number 6, negative self-image, viewing oneself as socially inept. And number 7, reluctance to take risks, an unusual reluctance to take personal risks or engage in any new activities, okay? Without further ado, let's get to it. Episode 5, Friday, Josh, Avoidant Personality Difference. Here we go. It's Friday, 7:45 a.m., and Josh Gibson wakes up in his dorm room on the campus of Southern Methodist University, commonly known as SMU. He thinks to himself, last day of classes for the week. Let's get hell over with ASAP. Just as Josh reaches for his phone, he remembers Dr. Jamie Prentice, aka Dr. J, the therapist that leads the process group therapy sessions Josh attends, saying, when you start your days, Josh, try something called the 0 inbox rule. It's easy. You do this by avoiding checking emails or social media. And the reason is you want to prevent any early morning cortisol spikes that could be caused by what you read. Cortisol is considered the stress hormone, and less stress is best, especially in the mornings. So instead, Josh sits up, and from the other side of his dorm room, an energetic voice says, "Hey, Joshy boy, you're finally up, huh?" Yeah, Tim, I'm up," says a slightly groggy Josh to Tim, his dorm mate. Tim continues, "Bro, the party tonight is gonna be epic. All of the freshmen are going. You gotta come with me, bro," causing Josh to purse his lips and then say, "Come on, Tim. You know I don't do well at social gatherings," Josh says half nervously and sarcastic, with Tim replying, "Yeah, but Josh, didn't you tell me part of your therapy is going out more?" Forcing Josh to think to himself, he's right. But I should have never told him about me going to group therapy. Only told him because he seemed kind of cool, and honestly, I thought it would keep him from asking me to hang. And in this brief moment, Josh remembers a tool Dr. J gave him when Josh asked about going to social gatherings. Hey, I get it. Going out and being around people can be hard. So before you do, set an exit strategy. Give yourself a concrete, realistic time limit. Example, deciding to stay 30 to 45 minutes. Knowing exactly when you can escape lowers the dread response. Josh, back in the here and now, is nodding his head approvingly and says, "Okay, but dude, I'm only staying for like 45 minutes or something." "Good, that's dope, man. I'll meet you back here after classes. Check you later, dude. Tim grabs his hat and puts on his backpack and energetically leaves the room as his first class is at 8:15 a.m., leaving Josh to get ready for his quantum physics class that starts at 8:45 a.m. After washing up and getting dressed in his standard dark clothes, Josh is back in his dorm room, not only gathering his backpack, but gathering himself. He flashes back to Dr. J giving him tools to prep for classes, hearing him say, "Going to class can be stressful. So I want you to visualize success. Before you enter a stressful environment, mentally visualize yourself sitting calm, speaking clearly, and leaving the room successfully. Also, use this strategic seating. Sit near the exit doors or in the back corners. This gives you an easy exit if you feel overwhelmed and prevents the feeling of people looking at you from behind." Having stilled himself, Josh heads to his quantum physics class, and on the way, his stomach growls. So he decides to quickly stop at the cafeteria to grab a bottled water and an apple. The closer he gets to the cafeteria, the more he thinks, this is a mistake. Too many people. All of a sudden, he can feel his heart start racing. And then, as if on its own, his mind visualizes everyone in the cafeteria stopping and all of them staring at Josh upon his arrival, to the point where people who are drinking their drinks are so frozen, staring at Josh, that the liquid starts spilling down their chin and onto their clothes. A couple of people are frozen in mid-bite of their food while staring, and a food server is spilling food onto the tray of another student as they both also stare at Josh. Then Josh closes his eyes for a second and hears the calm voice of Dr. J saying, "Hey, Josh, if you ever get to a point where the anxiety that can come with AvPD, like a rapid heartbeat or sweating, use the 4-7-8 breathing technique. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold 7, and exhale slowly for 8 seconds. This can help reset your nervous system." Josh utilizes the tool Dr. J gave him. Inhale for 4 seconds. Hold 7. And exhale slowly for 8. All right. Josh, feeling better, completes his mission. As Josh approaches class, he throws away the rest of the mostly eaten apple and starts to visualize success and heads to a seat in the back left corner of the theater-styled classroom. As Professor Green is going over the principles of quantum entanglement, he quotes Max Planck, the father of quantum physics, saying, Max Planck himself once said, all matter exists only by virtue of a force which brings the particles of an atom to vibration and holds this most minute solar system of an atom together. Can anyone finish this quote? How about you, Josh? Can you finish that quote? Josh slowly looks up from the notes he's been taking, with beads of sweat starting to form on his forehead. And this time, his mind is now visualizing everyone in class all standing up, pointing at Josh and staring unblinkingly at him with saucer-shaped eyes. As if that isn't enough, instead of his heart racing, he now sees it on his desk, in front of him, dancing and singing to the melody of the Macarena.
Professor Green just asked you a question. You don't know the answer, so now you're sweating. And everybody in the class is standing up and staring. Hey, Macarena!
But Josh doesn't get rattled. He quickly remembers another tool for class that Dr. J gave him. Josh, when you're in class and you want to or have to participate, use the 5-second rule. Count backwards from 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And speak before your fear can talk you out of it. Back in class,
Josh?
having used the 5-second rule, Josh says, yeah, Professor Green, just making sure I have it right. The rest of the quote is, we must assume behind this force the existence of a conscious and intelligent mind. This mind is the matrix of all matter.
Yeah, that's it, Josh. Thanks.
And as Professor Green acknowledges the correct answer and moves on, Josh notices that no one is staring at him and breathes a sigh of relief. So flash forward, and Josh has successfully made it through his classes without issue and heads back to his dorm, hoping Tim isn't there to drag him to the party. As Josh is walking, he can't help but think, what if I show up to the party and everyone's looking at me like I'm not supposed to be here? This thought reminds him of Dr. J saying, remember, Josh, when you start to hear that internal voice telling you you don't belong or you're incompetent, that is the disorder and not reality. You guys are going to keep hearing me suggest this. It's okay to anthropomorphize your difference sometimes, as this may make it easier to fight the personality difference or disorder, and also to differentiate yourself versus the disorder. Josh continues walking to his dorm room and decides to ignore the internal voice this time. Josh finally makes it to his room, still hoping Tim hasn't made it back in from his classes. He opens the door, and as soon as he does, he sees Tim and immediately closes the door to walk off. As he's turning to walk off, Tim swiftly reopens the door and grabs Josh by the hood of his hoodie and pulls him into their room, saying, "Dude, where you going? You were trying to ditch the party, bro." Josh says, "Yeah, well, so much for that, I guess." "Right. Come on, man, let's get ready. Then grab a bite to eat and hit the party, bro." With Josh begrudgingly nodding his head yes. A couple of hours pass as the guys put on their party clothes. Josh, of course, still in black. And then they head to the cafeteria for something to eat. As they eat and go over their respective days so far, Josh can't help but to remember a tool that Dr. J gave him that actually happened naturally, recalling him say, "You're a young college student, so you might want to go to a social gathering or some parties." "No, Dr. J, I try to avoid those altogether." "But Josh, you shouldn't. Going to a gathering or a party is good practice for you to fight your personality difference. Look, if you decide to attend a social function, which I really think you should try, find a wingman or anchor to attend with. Having a familiar face you're cool with can help decrease isolation and can act as a safe base to return to if you get, overwhelmed. As that memory fades, Josh is actually thankful that his dorm mate, Tim, turned out to be someone he's cool and comfortable with, and really one of the only reasons he's going to this party. As it is now 8:30 p.m., Josh and Tim head to where the party is taking place on campus, and while walking, Josh remembers the tool, set and exit strategy, and says to Tim, dude, I agreed to come, but like I said, I'm only staying for about 45 minutes. Bro, it's cool. I'm just glad you finally got out of the room. It's like you started growing roots in there or something. Lol. Very funny, bro. What? I'm just saying. Man, I hope all the girls are at least cute and single, you know? As they banter back and forth, they finally reach the door of the apartment the party is in. Hearing the loud music from behind the door, they look at each other wondering if they should knock or just go in. Then the door opens with a young lady coming out and speaking to someone over her shoulder as she does, saying, yeah, I'll be back. I'm just going out to smoke. As she turns to see Josh and Tim standing there, she says, oh, just go on in, guys. People are already here. Okay, cool, responds Tim. As they walk through the already opened door, they can hear people talking and the music loudly now. Just as they step all the way in and close the door, Josh's heart flutters, and in his mind, it's like what happened at the cafeteria earlier and in class. He visualizes the music stopping and everyone going silent, even in mid-conversations, all looking at him with disapproving faces. He all of a sudden sees his heart dancing and singing.
U-G-L-Y, you ain't got no alibi, you ugly. You ugly. Hey, Joshy boy, they're all looking at you, Josh. They're all looking at ya.
He's snapped back to reality with a nudge from Tim asking, hey, dude, you cool? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm good, man. With Josh remembering another tool Dr. J gave him when he asked, okay, Dr. J, suppose I do decide to go to a party and it feels like I don't know, like people are staring at me or something. Well, Josh, at that point, use this rule. Challenge the spotlight effect. Because of AvPD, you may assume people are scrutinizing your every move, but gently challenge this thought by reminding yourself that most people are primarily focused on their own social performance. Cool. I'll try, Dr. J. Back to the party. Josh leans to his left where Tim is still standing and asks, you think anybody cares if we're here? Dude, nobody even noticed when we came in. Yeah, you're right. As Josh and Tim mingle with their female and male co-freshmen, Josh remembers another tool Dr. J gave him concerning social settings. And don't forget, when you go to some social gatherings, it's okay to take scheduled brain breaks. You don't need to be on the entire time. Excuse yourself every 15 to 30 minutes to go to the restroom, step outside for some air, or sit somewhere quiet. Use this time to calm any stress or, just to give yourself a mental breather. By this time, Josh hasn't even noticed that he's been at the party past his exit time and actually ends the night talking with a young lady who tells him she has a bit of social anxiety, which actually starts a connection between the two. So not only does the day end with Josh making it through all of his classes and attending a party all the way through successfully, but it also ends with him meeting a cool and pretty cute girl. He can't help but think, thank God for Dr. J. And there we have it, episode 5 of Group Therapy Friday. Josh, avoidant personality difference. Look, if you or someone you know are dealing with AvPD, use the tools, man. That's what they're here for. Share this if you know someone who's dealing with it. And use these tools. Did you catch them? The first one was 0 inbox rule. Avoid checking emails or social media after waking up so that your cortisol doesn't give you a negative spike, because cortisol can be the stress hormone, and less stress is best, baby. Please believe it. Number 2 was set an exit strategy. It came a little earlier, but set an exit strategy. Give yourself a concrete, realistic time limit. You know, if you got to go somewhere, like say, man, I'm just going to go for about 45 minutes or so, right? Number 3, visualize success. You really can use this just in your regular life, period. Visualize success before entering a potentially stressful environment. Mentally visualize yourself sitting calm, speaking clearly, and leaving the room successfully. Number 4, strategic seating. If you have to go somewhere or be somewhere, sit near the exit doors or in the back corners. This gives you an easy exit if you feel overwhelmed and prevents the fear of people looking at the back of your head, if you know what I'm talking about. Number 5, calm any physical stress. When anxiety rises, like you get a racing heart or sweating, use the 4-7-8 breathing technique. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold 7, and exhale slowly for 8 seconds to reset your nervous system. Number 6, differentiate yourself versus the disorder, or the difference, as I call it. Remind yourself that the internal voice telling you you don't belong or you're incompetent is the disorder, AvPD in this case, and not your reality. Like I always say, man, it's okay to anthropomorphize your personality difference. If you don't understand what that means, that's fine. Anthropomorphize means to make something like it's a living being. It makes it easier to fight whatever it is that you're dealing with. Like with me and my ADHD, I anthropomorphize that thing as Debo. What happened to Debo? Debo was a bully, but he got knocked out in the movie, right? Okay, so there you go. That's an example. Anthropomorphize your personality difference if you have to, but also keep in mind that you have to take accountability for yourself if you act off of your personality difference. All right. Now let's see here. Where were we at? Number 7, find you a wingman or wingwoman or an anchor if you have to go to a social gathering or a party or something. Having a familiar face helps decrease isolation and acts as a safe base to return to if you start feeling stressed out. Number 8, challenge the spotlight effect. Man, listen, because of AvPD, some people or you may assume that other folks are scrutinizing your every move, but just gently remind yourself that people got their own selves to worry about. They probably not even paying no attention to you. And number 9, take scheduled brain breaks, okay? You don't have to be on the entire time if you're in a social setting. You can excuse yourself every 15 to 25 minutes to go to the restroom, step outside and get you some air, or just to sit somewhere quiet, all right? Use these tools or share them with someone, because you can't build something great without the proper tools. Now, the next episode is 6, Saturday, Sarah, depression. Ooh, come back for that one. Remember, don't let life kill you, and don't let the enemy steal your joy. Peace and blessings.